Our guest today, Nathan Mongol Wells, Dallas-based singer-songwriter. First question, obviously, the middle name. Because Nathan Wells just sounds like some guy. But when I say Nathan Mongol Wells, I got your attention.
Right.
Where did that middle name come from?
It was inspired by this. It's a transcontinental race that they throw called the Mongol Rally. And it goes from London to Mongolia. And when I discovered it, this was in high school sometime, me and my friend were like, we're going to do this. Life goal, this is going to happen. Still hasn't happened yet. So we changed our Facebook names, and we gave ourselves a middle name. So I got Mongol, and he got Rally. And the Mongol just kind of stuck, and I feel like it sort of helps explain some of the more idiosyncratic aspects of what I play.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, it's a good talking point.
So. Absolutely it is. But I'm saying it's an attention getter.
Right.
It really is.
I have family members that think that that's actually what my parents named me.
Oh, really?
Like,
just
so Mongol.
You just go with it.
Yeah, Yeah. Like, y'all should know better anyway. So.
Right. Like, my family.
Right.
So this race, is it like a running race, a driving race?
So, yeah, it's a driving race. It's like a rally. So
okay.
Underpowered cars, like little Mini Coopers and old, like, they used to do it with like a bunch of old cars too. So it was whatever you could find, weird Yugoslavian, whatever.
So what was it, the Yugo? Remember that car? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So little things like that. Or you can do it on 2 motorcycles. That was the rule as well. But, and then, yeah, you just hope that it survives. It's not even really, there's no like prize money at the end. The goal that they do is they donate the cars to the Mongolian government or whatever.
Oh,
so
that's
they can give it out
cool.
to people and stuff like that. I assume that is only the ones that have a leg to stand on when they get there.
Right, I'm sure.
A wheel, as it were.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a really short race.
No, yeah, it's like 10,000 miles. I mean, it still sound. I still want to.
So that's like a month for a musician, though, right?
Yeah, right.
It's not really that big of a deal.
Well, and I always figured if I bring my guitar, it's like a tour, right?
Right. Hey, yeah, it's a tax write-off.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. Chief songwriter and frontman of the band Ottoman Turks as well.
Yep.
Decided to come out and do a solo project.
Right. Yeah.
What made that decision, Nathan? What got you there?
It was always kind of a thing. I mean, we always so Ottoman Turks started in high school, and just we've still been doing it. We celebrate 15 years or something like that.
Wow.
I think this year or end of this year, and so we all just sort of grew up together writing songs and stuff like that. So there's all of us have solo projects except our drummer, who is a full-time engineer. So I guess that's kind of a solo project of sorts.
Yeah.
But we've always done it. But Turks is really my baby. So like all those songs are mine. So it kind of felt like, that was something I was focusing on for a really long time. But then meanwhile, like developing or like collecting all these other songs, it just didn't fit with the Turks.
Didn't fit with that kind of band. Yeah.
Right. And so I guess it was after the Turks' second record came out, I was like, all right, I think it's time to give this a little bit more focus, and started working on the solo stuff. So, it's always been developed kind of at the same time, and just different feels, different songs. There's even stuff on the record that like were originally Turk songs, that just kind of fell off and we don't do them anymore or whatever. So, yeah, it just makes sense,
Like when that album came out, the Dark Corner album, which is a great name for an album, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyways, you got some critical acclaim from some big name publications.
I mean,
that had to feel good and validating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still so surreal. I feel like anytime, even just a normal anybody likes the record, because it's more or less something I do for me. It's something I love. It's songs that come from inside of me. So when other people enjoy it, it's mind blowing. And then if they choose to write about it in a publication that people have heard of,
and they say something nice, is really nice.
although I've always wanted just a really scathing review, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure there's plenty of time for that to happen. So
if you'll allow me to.
Oh, please.
I have, and it hurts to do that. But you hate to do that, though.
Yeah.
Even as a critic, you hate to be just because it's somebody's art, and art is so subjective.
It is. Yeah.
Like I don't know how people can do that. Just be vicious.
Right.
And I'll hear the album and go, that was fantastic. What are they talking about?
Right.
But that's art in itself.
Folks,
Not everybody likes Jackson Pollock.
Right.
True.
And
I do. Yeah. So there. What do you remember the moment, Nathan, where you said, I'm going to be a musician? Was there that defining moment in your life that like this is where my career is headed?
Yeah, I mean, so again, we started in high school, and it was always just a hobby. We were literally a garage band. We practiced in my parents' garage,
They loved that.
Honestly, they did. My mom misses it. Yeah,
really?
She misses the noise and having people over all the time and stuff like
Making
that.
snacks.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And so it was just kind of a hobby, and we all went to college and, got degrees and things other than music, and but all the while doing this, and just over that time, it sort of became more and more something that I couldn't ignore, and there came a point where I was working construction, I was out of college, kept, sort of had been doing it for like about a year, and was getting like promotions and stuff like that. My boss liked me, which is good.
Yeah.
And my wife and I were talking, and she had this good job too that she liked, and we were like, this is kind of the moment where we have to decide, like, if we do this is what we could do for the rest of our lives, and see that kind of progression going. And but is that what we want, And I was like, I think it's really hard for me to ignore this pull to really focus on music, and try and make a go at that, whatever that means. And I feel like I could always go back and find a good job somewhere and do that whenever that time may be. And but if I don't do the music thing, I'm always going to regret it. Or
there'll always be that what if.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is about 2017, and we made the decision to move back up to Dallas, where I'm from and where the band lived, and just really try and figure out how to try and make that work. And now here I am on 95.9 The Range.
So it just kind of went.
Ranch,
it went downhill from there. Is what happened.
Yeah, basically.
What you're saying, yeah.
It's been.
Look, Ma, I made it. I'm on a podcast.
Hey, listen, I'm in the studio talking on a mic. That's
right. That is such a scary thing. Like, I've always, I like to tell people that radio DJs are just want to be musicians because we just didn't have the talent. We all wanted to be a rock star, so we was like, all right, let's do this instead. But that to me, like, to just say, all right, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
That is just so scary. And I'm sure it was that first couple of years. There's a struggle.
Yeah. I mean, still sometimes, even in the midst of success, like, you'll have a really great show or something, and then wake up the next day and you're like, okay, what next? Like, I'm not really sure.
And then 4 people are at the next show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and always there's that.
That's so wild.
But I will say, radio, it's tough to talk. Singing
not in really. Ways, I appreciate you lying to me, but it ain't that hard. I like it when people get to come in here and see what I do, and I'm like, I talk for 30 seconds and I wait 12 minutes and I talk for 30 seconds.
I mean, sometimes.
It takes a lot of work. Yeah. It does.
I see you sweating right now.
Basically, it's because the air conditioner just finally started working again in this thing. Jeez. Now, I hear maybe a rumor that there could be another solo album in the works.
Yeah, so we didn't...
I supposed to say that?
No, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it doesn't have a title yet, and I still need to record more. But, we recorded a bunch of songs and then left some... you have to pick what's going to go, especially in the first one, because you got to have that good first impression.
Absolutely.
And so there's a decent amount of songs that are on the I wouldn't say cutting room floor. They're just waiting. They're waiting to be put on that next project, and I've already got kind of a vision for it. We just need to go record a handful more songs to really flesh it out, and then album 2. Do
you have a goal of when it would be done?
Well, right now, the next goal for me, I think, is Autumn and Turks 3. So,
no way!
Yeah, we've been writing songs for that. And,
nice!
And practicing them, and hopefully start recording that this year. Yeah, and then get it out probably early next year would be the goal. And
the entire band back together for this?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice, man.
Yep.
It's exciting.
It is, yeah. I mean, I love playing with them, so it's kind of a no-brainer.
Well, yeah. So you are truly just a singer-songwriter. So you're just always working on stuff. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully,
hopefully people see me as that.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it did take me a long time to finally admit to it and call myself a musician.
Really?
But, yeah. For some reason, it felt like. I don't know, just that perception of
a little too much ego when you say that.
That, and also just that's a fantasy. You're not like anybody could say that, but what you really are is what you do for a living. And so if I'm earning money doing something else, I'm like, yeah, I'm a server. And then after a while, I was like, no, just
go with it.
Tell it like it is. Yeah,
right.
Just be honest and put that out there. But Yeah, but life gets in the way too. So I don't write half as much as I'd like to, or focus on it, just because you got to make dinner.
You're more selective in your songwriting now, is what it is, Nathan.
Well, yeah, sure,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Only the good ones.
Only write the good ones
only
now.
The good ones,
yeah. You don't waste your time with bad songs.
No, come on,
I don't blame you. Yeah. So when someone asks Nathan Mongol Wells, you're a musician, what kind of music do you play?
Oh, that's a tough question.
I bet it is. Isn't that cool, though?
Yeah.
To be able to do that?
It is, yeah. I always say it's country adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
it's kind of country.
Kind of country. You could say Americana or roots music or things like that. But it's all sort of spins around that sort of core of country and western songs.
So that 78-year-old guy that's at the gas station as you're filling up, he asks you that question and you say that, he just turns around and walks off.
He's
like, okay.
Yeah.
And leaves.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Both kinds of music, country and
western. And western. There you go, Bob. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
So, you want to play us a song, Nathan?
Sure, yeah.
What are we going to hear?
That's a good question.
Did the wife tell you what you can play?
We
were joking about that, by the way, for the folks just tuning in. We were joking about that before we started, that we like to ask our wives. I'll ask my wife what I can play on the radio. I ain't gonna lie.
They know. They know better.
They always know better than we do.
Yeah. I might do a new one.
Okay.
Why not?
Ottoman Turks or Nathan Mongol Wells' new one? Do you know yet?
Probably be Nathan Mongol Wells.
Okay.
But who knows?
Right.
Remains to be seen. It's called Heartache to Go. I've been playing it out a couple shows over the last few weeks, and I will say this: my mom loves it. So
you better play this song then.
They say that love should make you feel brand new, but then they left me in the state they always do. Now I never think about what could have, should have been. I keep myself too busy to allow the heartaches in. I'll take my heartache to go. I don't have time to sit around and mope. A busy man has to pay the bills, and life keeps moving when you're standing still. So if you have to know, I'll take my heartache to go. I might shed a tear from time to time, wondering how they all find love and I never find mine. Time to time is all the time that I find to give. Heartache just can't find me if I never stop to live. I'll take my heartache to go. I don't have time to sit around and mope. Busy man has to pay the bills, and life keeps moving when you're standing still. So if you have to know, I'll take my heartache to go. Yeah, if you have to know, I'll take my heartache to go.
Nicely done, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's. I'm still working out the kinks. Needs a little, probably a little extra.
That had
something.
some kinks in it. I missed it.
Well, good.
Nathan Mongol Wells hanging out with us here in the Ranch studio. You're saying a solo project. Has that even begun yet?
What, in terms of what?
Like, have you started recording anything yet? Or are we still writing for it?
Yeah, a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of both. But yeah,
Do you just kind of record as you go, or
no? Usually we set aside, book some time in the
Right.
studio and try and knock it all out. So I haven't got to that part yet, but I'm still trying to piece together. I think, there's a couple like types of songs and ideas that I've got that I really want to like finish so that I go in and we get the whole thing down. So that'll happen.
Ottoman Turks and Nathan Mongol Wells are just very eclectic,
Yeah.
both of what you guys do. So who were you listening to growing up?
Growing up, well, my mom was a gospel singer.
Uh-huh.
She had a band with the church, and they toured around.
Really?
Yeah. This is when I was.
So you were born into music.
Yeah. And she's a great singer. We were just over at her house for Easter, and we did some karaoke and things.
Oh, fun!
So it's a lot of fun to hear her still do it. And but yeah, so that I think was a really formative thing without me even thinking about it. That was just always there. So we listened to a lot of like gospel stuff growing up, and then. But my parents, they enjoyed a lot of different kinds of music too, a lot of like alternative rock and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm 32, so growing up in the 90s, there's a lot of great like rock on the radio.
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind and stuff like that, that kind of seeped in there. And then when I was early high school is when I really started kind of getting into music on my own and discovered Green Day. So a lot of, kind of, I guess you call it pop punk, but punk rock and things like that. And then my grandparents also passed on a lot of their favorite music. Hank Williams Sr., they gave me one of their like greatest hits records that they had from way back.
Nice.
And so I figured out how to work the record player and dialed that up, and that was very
What's wrong with this CD?
Yeah, right. It's real big. It's not shiny or reflective. But yeah, so all over the place. And then Tom Waits is a huge influence on me too. So he's probably my favorite artist of all time.
Do you love it when people compare you to Tom?
I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be egotistical until somebody says that, right?
No,
like,
I'll own it.
You can do that all day long.
Yeah.
That's great. So like when you're figuring out who you're going to be as an artist, like that's got to be a process because you're going through so many different genres of music growing up.
Yeah. For sure, and have played it all in various degrees. But part of the reason I started Ottoman Turks was to have an outlet in a band that wasn't really hemmed in by a particular genre, and that's why I always say country adjacent, because we kind of have that. We're from Texas, you can't erase that,
right?
And so, but then have the ability to do some weird like European folk, Balkan inspired stuff. And obviously the rock and roll element is just too fun not to do, just play as loud as possible. And but all sorts of things like that, throw in a waltz every now and then, things like that. So
I think it's really cool that you're part of a music scene, I guess the Americana scene, where you get to be whatever you want to be that day.
Right.
That's the thing. You don't even have to be like, okay, I'm going to be a folk guy and that's it. Like you can change tomorrow.
Right.
Start doing blues if you want.
It's true.
I'd like to hear your voice do some blues. But that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Well, Turks dips into that a little bit.
Yeah,
too,
well,
so,
yeah, good point. So what does Mom think when you say, I'm going to be a musician, but I'm going to go start playing at honky tonks and bars?
She's very supportive, so
Good.
I'm lucky in that way.
Good.
They bought us our first PA, way back
Really?
when we were at 16 or whatever it
Nice.
was. And maybe they look back at it like it's a mistake, but
right.
we're
This
in
is
too
our
deep
fault,
now.
honey.
Yeah, I've definitely apologized, but no, they're very supportive and really enjoy it, and they like coming to the shows as long as they're early enough.
Right, yeah.
So
I'm with them.
Yeah, well, me too. Honestly, come on,
Right.
we need to be playing at midnight.
When did we start saying let's start shows at 11? I don't like who came up with that.
It's all about bar sales, I guess, because that's where you make your money.
I
So
guess.
as long as it supports the music, you got to look.
By
at it
that
as a
time,
good
I don't
thing.
want to drink. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Right.
You guys have any
Somebody's
coffee to
gotta
keep me
drive
up? Yeah, exactly. So final question I like to ask everybody. Artists always create goals for themselves and hopefully attainable goals, and then you move on to the next one.
Yeah.
What would be that next goal for you as a musician, as an artist?
Yeah, right now, especially with the solo record, I think I wanted to afford myself the opportunity to get out and play a lot more and open up for people and tour around and really get on the road in a way that I haven't been able to before. Partially because it's just really hard to get 3 guys in a van and line up our schedules and our lives and all that stuff and then grind it out, because it's not easy either, but it's something I'm certainly willing to subject myself to, playing shows where you don't make any money and hopefully to some people, but so yeah, I've been trying to do that since the record came out back in August, and I've gotten to play over the last year with some really incredible people in some places I've never been. Obviously, we were just talking about, I was in New Orleans a couple weekends ago, and even just in Texas, San Antonio, Austin, hit all the places. And I got to go last year on a brief little run with Rhett Miller from Old 97 up in the Northeast. So played Boston and Buffalo, New York, and all these places that I had been to but had never played music in, and played to some really great crowds up there. So.
You walk in as the Texan. It's
yeah.
cool, huh?
Yeah, right.
Isn't it wild?
It is.
Like anywhere we go, like you're from Texas. Oh my God, then I just want to talk to you forever.
It carries, yeah. Oh man, I had a guy ask
you throw in your accent a little thicker when you're
I'm sure it's subconscious.
I did that. Well, you go to Ireland and like, yes, ma'am, how y'all doing over there?
Yeah. The cowboy hat goes a long way.
Yeah, right.
It is. There's a pedigree or something. You know, people. It's larger than life. The Texas thing. So
it really,
you carry that with you.
Went to Dublin and tell people we're from Texas, and the first words out of their mouth was, "Oh, Towns Van Zandt."
Oh,
and it's like, wow,
that's
all right,
awesome. Yeah.
I live here now. This is great.
Right.
This is really cool.
That's very cool.
It is. It's really cool that you get to be part of a Texas music scene, part of an Americana music scene, creating just really cool, eclectic, different music, and that's what I love about you.
Well,
your
thank you
solo
so much.
stuff and the band, because you guys just, here's where we are today, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's the fun.
Is there one place that you haven't played yet that you want to?
Oh boy, there's a lot. I mean, I'd let there's some really reputable old venues here in Texas, Old Quarter down in Galveston, and you know, just a lot of places like that I haven't yet gotten to play, and I'd really just love to go put up a sticker somewhere in the green room and say that I did it. You know,
that would be cool. That would be cool. So, Old Quarter. Now that you're listening,
yeah, that's right.
We need to get Nathan on that lineup.
I'm very free.
Very free. Well, buddy, man, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us. It's a pleasure. Got to meet you down for the first time in person down at Americana Fest.
Yeah, right. See, we both get around.
I know, we do. I didn't get to go to New Orleans with you. Maybe next time.
Next time, for sure.
We'll go down and drink some hurricane and eat oysters and have ourselves a time and get into some the debauchery down on Bourbon Street.
That sounds good.
All right. Yeah. Nathan Mongol Wells, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks so much, man.
Great job,
really
man. That's really good. You're good to talk with.